Hi there, grade 6. Happy Tuesday. I hope you got to go outside and enjoy the fresh air yesterday and the sunshine. It was a beautiful day. I have Marla with me today, and she's going to give you the second installment of BFG. And she will be rereading just a little bit of what you heard on Monday as a bit of a review, and then she will carry on. So sit back and enjoy.
One evening, Ophelia asked my father, "How do we know that you are not making up the BFG?" "Making him up?" my father said with horror. "Why can't we go to the window and see him?" I asked. "Because if you do, he will never come back. He is very shy and does not want anyone to ever see him. His magic might even be stolen by little girls' eyes. The big friendly giant is a magical giant, and magical things are never seen. You just have to believe, and if you don't believe in magic, then you will never find it." We weren't convinced, and my father sensed it, yet we believed enough not to go to the window when the bamboo stick came through, just in case. The very next morning, when we woke up and opened our curtains, all of our doubts were dissolved. As written on our perfectly green lawn were giant brown letters, BFG. We ran downstairs to tell our father, who was extremely annoyed that his prized lawn had been tampered with. "Now you believe that the BFG is real?" he asked. "My lawn has been all messed up." Yes, we believed. And still today I believe in magic, the BFG, witches, and fantastic boxes. But I also know that late that night my father had used weed killer to make the giant letters on his precious lawn. The idea of his children not believing in magic was far more important than the beautiful grass that he tended with great care. The day I flew to Vancouver to visit the set of the BFG, I can honestly say I felt as though I was Charlie Bucket, entering Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I walked through the large secret doors of the set, and suddenly I was in giant country, then Buckingham Palace, then the Queen's room, then the massive dining room at Buckingham Palace. I met Sophie, the Queen, and the greatest moment of all, I met the BFG. Oh, what a thrill it was! He was kind and beautiful and looked just the way I had always imagined him to look. Even though I am now an adult, I had to fight back tears. Tears of pure emotion that everything that I had always believed since I was a little girl, but never allowed to see outside of my imagination, was suddenly in front of my very eyes. I could also feel my father walking with me around this enchanting land of giants and dreams. I could hear him telling me, as I walked around in awe, "You see, Lukey," my family nickname, "if you don't believe in magic, you will never find it. You believed, and look, you found it. Isn't it marvelous?" And yes, marvelous it was. It was probably one of the best days of my entire life. My father was there in spirit. I could feel him, yet I wished more than anything that he could have been there in person with me. He would have been so delighted with absolutely everything, including Melissa Matheson's wonderful script, the fantastic costumes by Joanna Johnston, Rick Carter's production design, Louis Burwell's makeup design, and the hard work of so many other brilliant and creative people who have brought to life, with love and care, our little bedtime story that started out in our little tiny bedroom nestled in the English countryside. I had finally met my BFG. I also met the BFD, Big Friendly Director, Steven Spielberg. I watched in awe as he worked, as he is the only man I ever met who also believes in magic and giants. When it was time to say goodbye, I walked through the orphanage dormitory. The little iron beds were all lined up. The room was dark and beds were perfectly made, with love, with care, and like everything else I had seen and felt that day, with a little bit of magic. Lucy Dahl. Introducing Sophie! Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. The BFG! The blood bottler. The queen. The heads of